in the course of face-to-face classes, in which I sort of drop in there, is um, note-taking tools, right? And particularly digital note-taking tools. And very briefly, I wanted to talk about some of those things. One which students may have access to because student email runs off a Google platform is Google Keep, which is their note-taking tool, which allows you to take notes. Obviously, fairly straightforward. It allows you to do some other stuff as well. It allows you to set a reminder because it's integrated with the calendar stuff. It allows you to share a note with people. Um, Other note-taking tools have other ways for doing that. It allows you to change the color of the note. So if you use color in your note-taking, that may be a thing. It allows you to add an image. I'll show you more about that in a while with other things. It allows you to archive a note. It allows you to delete, make a copy. It allows you to put a bunch of checkboxes in so you can turn your note into a to-do list, which may be useful for some people. Copy it to Google Docs, which of course you could do just by selecting the text and pasting it anyway. And it allows you to, well, change labels or add labels. So, I mean, I've labeled this DH1003. I'm actually going to label it DH6022. I don't have a DH6022 label. But now that note is labeled DH6022, and that will allow you to organize notes by labels, or tags, as other things call them. So certainly that's the basic functionality of a note-taking tool. And it basically is like having an infinite supply of sticky post-it notes in different colors that you can stick all around your monitor, except it's not quite as messy. There's an alternative version of this, of the note-taking metaphor, which is the Microsoft offering, which is called OneNote, which, depending on where you are and whether you've got access to the Microsoft tools, and our university has bought fairly wide licenses for them. You may have access to it, download it, install it. This is a notebook metaphor. So that's not what I wanted to do. It allows you to create notebooks, and there's a mobile app, and there's an iPad app, and there's an Android tablet app. So it runs on everything, and it synchronizes between everything, which is very important. Notes written on a piece of paper do not synchronize, unless, I'll show you a trick when I get to the next tool. So it has a notebook metaphor, and some people like this. I made a genuine effort to use it a couple of years ago, but I fell back on another tool that I'm going to show you in a moment. Within the notebook metaphor, as you can see, you can have sections with different color tabs, where you can collect notes and stuff. And then within each page, you can define, not only can you do all the normal text formatting stuff, and the highlighting and things like that, but you can also draw on a page. Indeed, if I can go back and find that page that I was doing, wherever it was, well, there's a set of notes I took on the fly at a conference. It was the conference program. Sorry, I tell a lie. I pasted the conference program in, and then, as you can see, I used, sitting in the back, the old iPad to add annotations to the conference program of things that I was particularly interested in, or what I was going to go and see, or whatever it was. So that is, if you like the notebook metaphor. And of course, you can do full text searching, and as you saw, you can draw on stuff, which is handy. And in this case, I took a picture at the conference with the camera on the iPad and inserted the picture of Vincent's presentation straight into that page in the program that I'd taken, so I captured that there. So you can do a lot of good stuff with digital note-taking apps, which is very good. So that's one way to do it. I like the notebook metaphor, but I just didn't stick with it, because what I use and have used for a long time is Evernote. If OneNote is like a pad, then Evernote is like a giant heap of index cards. And you can group them in notebooks. And I did originally have a notebook for every course. And I've actually got rid of all of them and combined the stuff and reorganized it, simply because I didn't need a notebook for every course because I could tag stuff. And in fact, you can see here is a screenshot that I took because, again, Evernote runs on everything. On the desktop, it does have a clipper that sits in, on the menu bar and allows you to push the button and grab part of the screen and take a screenshot, which is what I did here. And when you open the note, you can then, here I've added some tags, so I can actually add another tag, edit, trying to remember, new audio note, new window, whatever, right? We're not going to, but you can do that, and you can start typing the tags. Here we go. And you can put it in a notepad if you want to, and you can share it and all of those things. So it does those things, right? So there's just two different ways of looking at it. In theory, my inbox is the notebook where everything goes into. And in theory, once a week or so, I should actually go through it and tag all the notes in it. And as you can see, I am not the best at that, but the full text search to a large extent makes up for it. Now, there's other things as well. For example, here is a piece of plain paper, right, blank, and a marker. And I'm going to write just to prove. So there is, this is almost like today's Irish Times. This is a note, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to hit the button for new note, and I'm going to, oh, not that. Choose a template. I don't want that. Cancel. No, I don't want that. Ah, here we go. Right, new note, take a photo. And so what I'm going to do is take this here. Boom, you can click, save. And that should synchronize back there very quickly. No, that was last Friday, right. So we'll let that go on its merry way and see how long it takes to get from here to there. And the other thing, of course, that you can do, say unexpected sync error. Well, there you go, yeah. However, I don't know if that's going to come up. The other thing that these note-taking tools allow you to do is that, so I'm just going to start a plain text note here, and I'm going to call it plain text. But of course, more and more frequently, mobile devices have a very much improved speech-to-text recognition set of tools which allows you to dictate a note on the fly. Tap the button. So that note's there. Let's see if the internet is in fact not going to betray me. We'll see how long that takes, right? So Evernote, like any other good note-taking tool, runs on almost everything. There it is, plain text. It's got the heading, it hasn't got the note yet. Allows you to take notes. There's the text. Allows you to input in a variety of different ways on mobile devices, synchronizes across all your platforms so your notes are there, and of course, because this is a cloud-based solution, as is OneNote, if all your devices are destroyed, you can just buy a new device, log into your OneNote or your Evernote or your Google Keep, and your notes are there, which is very important. So it allows you to sort things by notebooks or by tags. It allows full text searching. All of them allow full text searching. All of them allow you to draw. All of them allow you to insert images. Let me try the image insert again. No, go back. in a very meta way. Takes a moment. There we go. I don't even have to press the synchronization button on that. I'll have to press the synchronization button on this several times. And we'll see if there it is. It's going to take a moment for the image to appear, which means, of course, that if you write your notes by hand, you can capture an image, a copy of the note, and image is taking a while, and get it in. There's also an enormous number of note-taking tools which run only on mobile devices, mainly on notepads. I mean, they will run on phones as well. The problem here is not the tool. There are some very fine note-taking tools which will allow you to write on the screen and turn your scribbles into text with a great degree of sophistication. And they look very pretty. And if you look in the App Store for either iPhone, iPad, or Android, you'll see a lot of note-taking apps that will do cool and interesting stuff. Not all of them run on desktop machines, which is a problem. And not all of them export nicely. By and large, the user interface developments on mobile devices are far ahead of desktop, which for things like note-taking apps means that they're better. But most of them have moved from a pay once and you own the app to a subscription model, which means that if you decide you like one of them, you're going to end up paying $5, $6, $7 a month for them, or 80 or 90 a year for the tool that you decide to commit to if you want to go beyond the free options. Same with Evernote, same with OneNote. There's a certain amount of free there, but beyond that you need to actually fork over some money. And at some point in time, for a year of a degree, you can probably, oh yes, there you are. There's the picture of the screen with me on it that I took a moment ago. So it's there. Once you pick a tool that you like, you may need to decide to commit to it. But as I say, for a year of a degree, most note-taking tools offer enough space to hold the notes that you will accumulate during 1 year of a degree. When you get beyond that, then you've got to make a decision about it. The big thing about all these note-taking tools, just like the good old-fashioned handwritten notes in an A4 pad, is that the weak link is the human. If you take notes and you never look at them again, and you never process them, and you never organize them, then they're of no value. So you are the weakest link, but at least with digital tools, your notes will never get lost, and they are searchable, full text searchable, so there's some possibility that you will find them if you've tagged them or titled them in some useful way. So you need to think about these tools. You need to think about how you're going to use them, how you're going to share stuff. There are other cool and interesting note-taking tools, close to note-taking tools emerging. There are tools for artists and designers that allow you to take an image of a color in the wild and will match the color for digital work. There's now come out in the past week a tool which allows, again, for artists or graphic designers to capture an image of an object, and will isolate the object from background and allow you to paste it into a design document. So all of these things are becoming more sophisticated, possibly sophisticated beyond what the average person needs for their notes. Because what most people need, basically, is something that will capture plain text in a way that you can search for it and find it again. And of course, here's another thing about Evernote, which is that it will, when you look at a note, show you related notes, where you're at the mercy of the algorithm, which isn't necessarily the most useful when it's matching my wanderings with other things in my totally unsorted collection of notes. But have a look at some of them, give it some thought, think about how you're going to do it, think about how organized you want to be, and which one suits your method of working best.